Hello book buddies, and welcome back to my channel. I am Gwen, owner of Gold Dust Editing and Book Reviews, where you guessed it, I edit, review, and promote fiction novels. And occasionally I promote some nonfiction as well. For information on how to submit your work for any one of my services, you can use the link in the description down below. And while you're there, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. So let's head on to Painted Barrel, Wyoming. It is the setting for Her Christmas Cowboy, the fifth in the Wyoming Cowboy series by author Jessica Clare. Here's your blurb. Alright, we have Caleb and Amy. I adored these two and I had so much fun reading about them. They are a really wonderful couple and their personalities complement each other. One side you have Amy. She's very expressive verbally. Don't get me wrong, she's not like a blabbermouth or over the top or too much to handle, but that is pretty much her love language, verbally expressing herself. Then you have Caleb, who is quiet and shy, and he, gets a little tongue-tied all the time. His character actually reminds me of Raj on Big Bang Theory. For those of you familiar with that show, which is probably a whole lot of you, Raj used to have problems. Early on in the series, he had problems talking around women. Caleb is not quite that bad. His, shyness is not as debilitating as Raj's, but it did put me in the mind of that character. Well, he's crushing on Amy big time, so it was quite entertaining, to say the least, to watch these two navigate this, really tricky relationship because of his quiet nature, and he kind of just does this grunt sometimes because he wants her to understand he hurt her, and she doesn't understand that he's having trouble talking. So it kind of leaves her thinking he doesn't really like her, and that maybe, he's only nice to her because they live in this small town and that's what people do. They take care of each other. Where Caleb is trying his best to, get her to understand his true feelings for her. And this was a really fun and sweet and heartwarming relationship. I really, really enjoyed it. It's pretty much like a I want to say a self-discovery kind of story. In Amy's case, it is like she's rediscovering herself. She's come out of a bad marriage and her husband was, he was possessive and not physically abusive to her, but more mentally. And, he would gaslight her and make her feel guilty about things, always, kind of making her feel like she wasn't good enough and that she didn't try enough. Now, he was a wealthy man, and so she lived a privileged life. So she had everything top notch, the clothes and shoes and the big house, and, in society she was well known. Well, now that she's divorced, she has to learn how to fend for herself and be independent, and she's taking the bull by the horns and she's ready to do so. She doesn't see it as a bad thing. She's excited about it, but as you know, that could be tough if you've never had to be independent, and she does not want to always depend on somebody else. Here comes Caleb. His love language is more doing things for people. That's how he expresses himself, since he has so much trouble talking to women. So imagine them clashing because he's constantly trying to take care of her. She wants to be independent. She can't understand that he's romantically interested in her. So it wasn't really like a bunch of comical mishaps, but okay, there were a few. But it was a really great story and it's really sweet. I think you guys will love it. For you eggplant veggie loving readers out there, this book has a lot of chemistry, some really heavy foreplay, and one eggplant. Now, there's more than one love scene, but there's only one. I should say they make love more than once, but there's only one scene where it's fully, detailed description of it. So, but it's a great story. Don't let that, turn you off or anything. But that does mean the story is for 18 and over. I had to throw that in there. So, with that being said, it is time for the rating. Now, for those of you who are not aware, I use cups of coffee instead of stars. And the gist behind it is, how many cups of coffee did I have to drink to get through the novel? So the less the better. 0 cups of coffee is equivalent to 5 stars. That's saying I didn't need to pick me up. The book was intriguing enough all on its own. I didn't need any help to get through it. And 1 cup of coffee would be equivalent to 4 stars, and so on and so forth. Big question of the day: how many cups of coffee did I have to drink to get through Her Christmas Cowboy? Well, let's see. That is right. Boom! 0 cups of coffee. As you see, all 5 cups were still full. I didn't drink any of them because I did not need them. This story was intriguing enough all on its own. I really enjoyed it. There were no, it's very even paced. There was no boring part or info dumping or anything like that. And I really connected with these characters and I rooted for their relationship. It's really a great story, and I implore all of you out there to grab a copy, give it a read, and then come back here and tell us what you think about it. I'd love to chat about it with you. Now I can't talk. I'm getting tongue tied like Caleb. With that being said, that is it for today's review. Thank you guys for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, happy reading.